Club, and my speech is entitled Getting Started. Now I can see one or two new faces here tonight, so welcome. But why are you here? Perhaps you've never been able to speak to groups of people, but are now expected to do it in a new job. You're about to be the best man at a wedding, or perhaps the best woman. Maybe you're the father of the bride, or even the bride herself. And maybe you already do it but just want to be a bit better. Perhaps you're afraid of making a fool of yourself. You may lack confidence. You may have little idea of what is expected of a speaker. You may not know what a good speech is. Whatever the reason, you have come along to a speakers club to see what it's all about and how we can help you. And although the first step may be difficult for you, I've got good news. We can help you. The secret of success, the secret of making any skill look effortless, is mostly the same. It's hard work and practice. It doesn't matter whether it's dancing, golf, public speaking. To be successful, you must work at it. Reading books on the subject can perhaps help, but doing it with a good coach, that is always the best way. So early on in your membership of a speakers club, you must leap the first hurdle, and that hurdle is making your first speech to the club. Now this first speech will be presented to a supportive audience, because we've all been there. But you'll have the advantage of having your own personal coach, although we call the coach an evaluator. And the evaluator will be a more experienced speaker who will point out some of your weaknesses, highlight your strengths, and offer helpful suggestions to improve your technique. Constructive really is the word for this, because there'll be no harshness, there'll be no nastiness, and only the gentlest of advising on how to overcome your weaknesses. And generally when you do any speech, someone will say to you, could you maybe make it 5 or 6 minutes? And they'll give you some sort of time limitation. And if they don't, ask them how long they wish you to speak, bearing in mind that fact when you're preparing your speech. So what about this first speech? Well, the very best subject for your first speech is very often yourself. And it gives fellow members an opportunity to get to know you better. Or alternatively, choose a subject on which you can comfortably talk at length: your work, your interests, your family. The choice is yours. Aim for about 5 minutes, unless someone else has asked you to do it in a different time. But follow these simple rules. Jot down any interesting and important ideas that you want to include in your speech. Think of a good arresting title. Develop your speech so that it has a start. And try to have an arresting opening sentence like, "Tonight I am going to tell you something that will change your life forever." And then you move on to the middle, you enlarge upon your start, and you present your story, your facts, your arguments. And finally, at the end, you try to relate your beginning to your end. For example, "And now your life will never be the same again." And think of it as a spoken speech rather than an essay. Try recording your speech while practicing it in front of a mirror. See and hear yourself and see if it sounds natural. Observe whether you're standing well, if you look relaxed, if you have command over your audience. time yourself, edit, edit, and edit again, and remember, the more you stand in front of an audience, the better you will become. So bring on that wedding.